Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Columbia University. My name is John Mitskill. I'm very happy to greet you here on behalf of both the university, the Polish and Ukrainian studies programs, and also on behalf of all of our co-sponsors. And I'm very happy to say that we have a relatively large number of institutions that decided that this was something that they wanted to get involved in. Our meeting today is not the first time that Ukrainians and Poles have gathered in New York City to talk about things that interest the both of them. Certainly in places like the Ukrainian institutes, the various Ukrainian institutes downtown, there have been meetings like this in the past, in the 1970s, the 1980s. Here at Columbia, not so long ago, in October of 1999, we had a conference entitled Breaking the Cycle, Contemporary Polish-Ukrainian Relations in Historical Context. And since then, Columbia and Mark von Hagen, the director of the Ukrainian Studies Program, has been steadily building Ukrainian offerings, just as we have been steadily building Polish offerings here through various means. On the Ukrainian side, the Petro Jacek Visiting Professorship, the establishment of an endowment to support a permanent chair in Ukrainian history, which we hope will happen in our lifetime, and funds aimed at supporting instruction in Ukrainian language and literature have all been set up in the last few years, and that means that Columbia is moving toward, very much toward a stronger presence in Ukraine and on subjects of interest to Ukrainians, and also to Americans who are interested in Ukraine. On the Polish side, the establishment of the Adam Mickiewicz Fund to support Polish language and literature in 1999, the establishment of a Polish Studies Endowment just last year in 2003, aimed at creating a chair in Polish Studies at the School of International and Public Affairs, and finally the Kościuszko Foundation, Semper Polonia Foundation, Distinguished Visiting Professorship in Polish Studies, something which will not fit on one card when you go to read it. It has also been created here at Columbia, and the first incumbent, the first holder of that position is Professor Michał Buchowski, who's sitting in the front row here and who will chair the first session this afternoon. And for the last 4 years, we here at Columbia have been very happy co-sponsors of the large and well-organized conference on Ukraine's quest for mature nation and statehood, which is held annually in Washington, D.C. It's a slightly different kind of a forum than we have here today, but something that is important because it draws in the policymakers in Washington into things that are of interest in our part of the world, and you can't get enough of that in a place like Washington, D.C. So as you can see, we've been sort of busy here at Columbia, and today we and our colleagues in the Polish and Ukrainian communities have gotten together to organize this meeting, which we think will be a great success. Our immense gratitude goes to the organizations who co-funded and or sponsored exhibitions at this meeting, the exhibitions that you will see at some point during the day today in our lobby. And those institutions that are cooperating in this fashion are the First Security Federal Savings Bank of Chicago, the Kościuszko Foundation, the Pilsudski Institute, the Polish-American-Ukrainian Cooperation Initiative, which is funded by a USAID grant, the Polish Consulate in New York City, the Self-Reliance Federal Credit Union of New York, the Semper Polonia Foundation in Warsaw, the Taras Shevchenko Scientific Society here in New York, the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, the Ukrainian Free Academy in America, and the Ukrainian Institute of America. Did I leave anybody out? This will be a first. These are all very good organizations. We thank them for getting interested in something that we've been thinking about for a very long time. And of course, whenever you need to do something, you need to rely on people to do that. And that's why our thanks goes also to our staff here at Columbia. Their hard work brought you all here. The people that are At the top of the list, so to speak, are Maria Sonevitska of the Ukrainian Studies program here at Columbia, who is somewhere in the audience, sort of flitting around doing things, and Kevin Hallinan of the East Central European Center and the Institute for the Study of Europe, standing in the back of the room. I would be remiss, and it would not be nice of me if I didn't also thank our distinguished colleague from New York University and the Ukrainian Congress Committee, Walter Zaritsky. Walter, are you here?